What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. This is your boy, Kanal, aka Black Man Travels with Mr. Fearless podcast. I just got back from the Dominican Republic. I was gone for about 10 days. Glad to be back, but now this pollen's kicking my ass. So if you hear me sneeze and choking off my own mucus, forgive me for that because it's pollen season here in Georgia and I'm dying every time I step out the house. What's going on, Mr. Fearless?
What's up, brother? Last week you were struggle streaming. We missed you a little bit. We heard all the conchos in the background.
Yeah.
And, we just wanted to make sure you got back safe.
You know what, man, guys, listen. Don't listen to some of these so-called passport bros saying that, hey, you can become a digital nomad in Dominican Republic. It's impossible. Those motor conchos will make you go crazy. You can't conduct any type of meetings while motor conchos are driving through the neighborhood or they loud ass music. Then you got the chickens and the dogs barking, people playing their loud music next door. Don't try to host a virtual meeting from Dominican Republic because trust me, it's going to stress you out. And that was my headache as of last week.
Yeah, I don't think they understand what rolling blackouts are either. So you have to have a generator or something to keep you going. Because if not,
you know what, Fearless. Actually, one day out of the week, we experienced a 24-hour blackout. Dude, I never sweat so bad while sleeping. Like literally, I slept butt ass naked, and I was still sweating.
Yep.
That's how hot it gets in the Dominican Republic when there's a blackout. So
and now you know why they don't have hot water to take a shower with.
Yeah. You know what? The crazy thing is, normally I had the hot water on, but man, it was so hot. I think at one point it was 95 degrees, and it was like 90 degrees at 10 o'clock p.m. Dude, I was taking cold showers. You know, normally you take a shower with cold water, you like you start breathing a little hard because you're not used to the cold water. And by the end of that week, man, I was so used to that cold water. I was like, fuck it, man. I ain't taking a shower with no damn hot water. So yeah, guys, if you're thinking about living in DR, man, there's a lot of things you need to know before you decide to live out there. And having a working generator to prevent having any blackouts, and get used to taking a shower with cold water too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Anyways, man, hey, how's everything going, man? We have an interesting topic for you guys today, guys. We're talking about relationships, of course, you know, all through social media and YouTube platforms. There's a lot of topics about going overseas and finding love and finding that fit, feminine, friendly woman. And there's some things that a lot of podcasters don't talk about. So today we're going to talk about those 5 things. I'm going to give you 5 reasons why not to bring your foreign partner, aka Chica, back to the U.S. Fearless, what's your thoughts on it?
Well, I think what they all say, and I think that's one of the minor things, is she's going to become Americanized. She's going to become Westernized. That's the reason you don't want to bring her back. I think that's just one of the things you got to worry about. And that might be, you know, one of the slightest things, especially if you got a good, solid woman. Those are the changing, you know, if you've grown up somewhere, it's just like you've grown up in the United States or in Atlanta or wherever for 30 years. You're not really switching it up. You know, you're like, I'm in Dominican, now I'm Dominican. You still carry whatever you have with you. You know, you're beyond those stages. So that's not really the case. But yeah, a lot of brothers are not prepared for everything you need to know to bring them back. Don't bring them back if you don't know some of these things.
And the thing is too, like my thing is, you have a lot of guys within this travel space speaking on the topic while never having any type of experience of having a relationship overseas. Like they're quick to say, "Hey, don't bring it back." Okay, have you experienced someone dating someone overseas? No. So how can you say this based on what experience? And the good thing about tonight's show, guys, we have experience. We have real life experience. We know people who have real life experiences that we're going to talk about those 5 things. And again, we want to make sure that you are protected. You're in the know, but also too, hey, love make you do dumb shit, and we're trying to help you prevent from doing some dumb shit during that process. So yeah, we're gonna highlight 5 reasons and why not to bring your foreign partner to the U.S. And again, hopefully you listen, take some good notes, and apply it to your life. Fearless?
Yeah, I think one of the other mistakes they make is a 2-week or 1-week vacation is not the same as when you bring somebody back. You know, that's completely different. It's a whole different ball game, a whole different way you need to view it. And I think that's what happens. Guys get caught up in a week vacation, you know, 2 weeks out of the year. and they think they know what's going on. That's not the case. There's some other things you need to be aware of. You shouldn't bring them back.
And also, too, I think a lot of guys are very gullible. Guys are quick to call the guys simps and beta and all this stuff, but the same ones who calling other guys simp and betas, they're the ones that are making the costly mistakes.
Yes.
So it's like, they go down there super gullible because the girl's pretty, she could cook and clean. Oh, she's wifey material. Like, really? That's all it takes to make someone a wife? To take someone for you to invest time and money and effort to actually build a relationship with and bring them to the States? So we're going to talk about those things. And again, we have 5 reasons. We're going to highlight each of those 5 reasons. And again, we're open to having a discussion. If you want to come on the live stream and push back, you're more than welcome to do that. So you want to go ahead and start with reason number 1?
Let me put that up. I'm sorry, my brother.
I got it.
Go ahead. Yeah, reason number 1, cultural adjustment. Remember, you've been in DR for a couple of weeks. She might have went along with you. But now you want to bring that same chick to the United States where your total culture is entirely different. Everything you do is different. Your language will be different. The transportation, when you're in DR, you can make a quick phone call and say, hey, I want some Coke brought to the house, a pack of chips. And there's some little driver that'll be there in 5 minutes. That's not happening here. So a lot of times they have this different vision about how it should be. And another thing is, you're taking somebody that has grown up in a whole Latino culture, and then you're going somewhere where there may not be hardly any Latinos. Maybe no one's speaking Spanish. The holidays that you celebrate, they're not celebrating. They don't know nothing about that. Like Halloween, there's no Halloween, and no Halloween, no Thanksgiving, not even like Easter bunnies. They never heard of that. So the things you would try to celebrate is like a shock to them. And that's a cultural adjustment for somebody to come that far and say, this isn't what I'm used to. This is what I like. The food is different. All of those little things can start making someone resent being in the States.
Oh, and one thing to keep in mind, going back to the holidays, guys, keep in mind, most countries around the globe, Christmas Eve is the main holiday, not Christmas Day. Us Americans, we treat Christmas Day as the primary holiday, not Christmas Eve. So for someone who lives in Latin America, Christmas Eve is time for everyone to be with their families. Here in the States, we're not like that. We're on Christmas Day. And it's really about gift sharing, and versus in other countries, it's all about being around family, food, music, being festive. So always keep that in mind. The culture difference and the cultural adjustment will definitely make or break the relationship while she's here in the States, because again, there's a lot of things that she's not accustomed to seeing and doing. So always keep that in mind when you actually experience this.
I'm laughing for 2 reasons. 1, if you never put up your Christmas tree in September, you don't know what DR is. They don't have another holiday. When their holiday starts, they start putting up Christmas in September. Like, what the hell? Y'all got like 4 more months till Christmas. Doesn't matter. That's how it works. Yeah. Another thing is, we have a little bit of respect. And what I mean by that is, imagine if you've been to DR, you've been to those other countries, especially like DR, especially at Cartagena. They blasting the music. They can be, they ain't where the neighbor don't care what they doing. I don't care. They got a neighbor going to party with me. And there's no curfew. It might be 12, 1 o'clock, and they're not accustomed to, what you mean I can't do this? I live here. So that whole mentality of not being able to play the music loud or party loud or whatever it is, they're not accustomed to that.
You know what? Just speaking on that experience about the whole music thing, guys. Again, I just got back from the Dominican Republic. My neighbors were playing music loud until 2 a.m. I can't call the police on them. I can't go to the house and knock on their door. If I do that, I probably get stabbed or get cussed the fuck out. So I got to deal with it until they get tired of playing their music. Then I got to go to sleep. Even then, they'll wake up at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock a.m. playing their loud ass music. So there's something that you really got to understand, especially the woman that you date, depending on what country. She may just be a very festive person. If you're not a festive person, that's gonna be a big problem. If she
So
likes to
imagine,
dance and party and be around family, you tend to be more of an introvert, you want to be secluded by yourself, it's not gonna work. And I think a lot of American guys, they go to these countries, especially in Latin American countries, meeting these women who are very family oriented, very festive, vibrant people, while you're not, and you're trying to bring this person to bring to your level. But the thing is, she's gonna be unhappy falling to your level because she realizes, yo, this is not me. I love dancing. I love playing loud music. I love just talking loud. And you can't expect that person to change her entire makeup of who she is to accommodate to you. And I think a lot of guys, they try to do that when they bring their women here to the States, which cause a big problem.
and what I hear is a lot of guys say, "Oh, you bring her here, and then she finds her Latin boyfriend." It's
Yeah.
not because she's looking for a Latin. Just imagine if you went to another country. You don't see any fast. There's no McDonald's. There's no Burger King. There's no Pizza Hut. None of that. All you got to eat is their beans and rice. That's it. You would get frustrated. The things that you don't have to explain to someone else. And like, being a black, we can look at something and we look at each other like, yeah, we know what that was, because there's not an explanation.
Yeah.
Same in the Latin community. There's a language that they speak maybe without words. They just get it with each other. And so that you bring in somebody here, they're not, they got to eat your food because you're used to barbecue and soul food, and say they don't adjust. There's food. I remember I brought some yams, like candied yams.
Yeah.
And they're like nobody wanted to eat it. Nobody, they don't have that. It's like,
Yeah.
Like it was a strange thing to that culture. So I think what makes a lot of those women stray is just familiarity.
Yeah, I agree. And also too, I think a lot of guys, what they do when they bring their partner from these countries to the U.S., they try to seclude them from their culture. They try to seclude them from their family members.
Mm-hmm.
I'm constantly hearing from non-travelers, oh, make sure she's not around other westernized women because you don't want her to get westernized. Look, that's who she is. If she comes a certain way, her being in this country is not going to change who she is. So this whole thing that you're trying to control her environment so she won't get westernized is like the dumbest shit that I ever heard. And that tells me as a man, you don't have control of your situation. And the fact too, you chose a dumb bitch that can't really do anything. And she's easily influenced. Excuse me for the B word, but I'm just saying. So it's just like, always keep that in mind, guys. The type of woman you attract and you decide to bring into this country will determine the type of person she is. If she really doesn't do anything in her country, you can't expect her to come to the U.S. and become a superstar. That's not going to happen.
Correct.
If she never had a job, she never went to school, all she was is just a pretty face, you can't expect her to come to the U.S. and get that motivation and eagerness to go out there and just make things happen, because it's not going to happen that way.
I want to address this. Buck Travel says, I know a Black American dude who brought his Colombian wife to the States. She lived with him for a couple of years until she got a green card and then left to be with her family in New York. So let me address that.
Yeah.
One, if you a guy making money, so Buck, I'm not sure where you from, but say you're in the Midwest, the South, or something like that, and you're a person that's making good money. Think about, why would a woman come all the way here? And if you've never lived in New York, my girl from New York, or not, her family's there. She visited New York and was like, I don't ever want to go back. So if you are making good money and your girl leaves you to go live in New York, where the rent is 3 times as high, everybody's living in like a one-room place. You can't even rent the house out. You rent in one room and everything else is common. High prices. It wasn't about that, because she's leaving to be more uncomfortable. It becomes back to her being familiar. So something happened within that relationship. It wasn't about a green card or leaving. She went to be with family. So ask, why wouldn't the guy take her around the family before? Why wasn't she visiting? Sometimes it's that homesick. I'm used to, you get used to your mom's cooking. You get used to Latino music playing. All of those things factor into it. And if you aren't supplying that, if you aren't understanding those cultural differences, anybody, if you live somewhere, you're like, yeah, it was fine to visit, but I don't want to be here. So those little things are the reason why people leave. Like
But
I said,
I gotta push back, Fearless. I gotta push back. Let's just keep it real, man. You know what? She probably just used you. Let's just call the kettle black. She saw you as a gump, and she saw like, hey, this is a meal ticket for me to get the hell off this damn island. So it's like, hey, I'm gonna play this fit, feminine, friendly role for the next 2 or 3 years until I get my chance to get to the U.S. That does happen, guys. I know Haitian women, Jamaican women, Bahamian women, Trinity women that done this. I'm from Miami. A lot. I'm used to seeing that happening. And again, they'll marry someone that is 30 years older. That that can't do nothing for her physically. She's not physically attracted to him. But you know what? He's gonna get me to the States. So guess what? I'm gonna go ahead and play this game that he wants me to play. And once she gets it, she's gonna leave. Yeah, but the thing is, it's your fault. It's not her fault. She's trying to survive. It's your fault. You made yourself an easy target.
I agree with you slightly. And the reason is,
hey, I'm drinking tonight, man, so I'm ready for that smoke. See, last week you were going off. Like tonight, I'm home. I got electricity and AC. I'm ready to go in. So it's all good.
I say that, and I wish I could find this girl's. Maybe I have my girl send it to her. There was a chick who was from Cartagena, strict 304 all the way. She came in, married some white dude. She ain't leaving. No matter how her family is, you know why? Because she posts, she got this nice watch. She got the crystals. Here's my house. Here's this. She's living a lifestyle that it doesn't matter if she used the guy. If she's like, I just need you to come here and get me this green card. She's not leaving. The life is too comfortable. She's around exactly where she wants to be, a high value man. Why leave all that to go to the slums? You can have a green card, but what's your life going to be like? Most of the time, if you've been to New York, I'm sorry, my New York people.
Hey, we could go into New York because New York is. I took my girl to New York, man. We went to Washington Heights, where all the Dominicans are. Man,
and nobody speak English. Nobody speak English.
Bro,
they've been there for 25 years and don't speak English.
Listen, we went to New York, man, and we spent 2 days out there because we were going to Chicago, and man, we went to Washington Heights. We went to go see some of our family and friends out there in these buildings. Man, she was like, all this image that they try to portray of New York when they come to the DR, it's all lies. Mm-hmm. That's what it's like. She's like, this is like the worst place to live. I told you, realize how expensive everything was, how closed in everybody lived, and she's like, the way they come back to the US. I mean, they come back to to DR. They make it seem like this is the place to be, and it's not. So again, a lot of guys paint this image or this false reality that hey, they live in this grand life because they rent out villas in DR or in Colombia or Brazil, not knowing that this guy probably live in the backwoods and back in Arkansas or Alabama, or he probably live in a trailer's park. Mm-hmm. And guess what? When she comes to the States, like, dude, this whole life that you claim to live is not even a true reality of it.
And what they don't understand is the brothers that are in New York, they saving all year to go down there during Christmas time, and they balling out for that 1 month or 2 weeks. So it makes it look like, man, you guys are rich. Man, you guys got this. So they put that in their mind. So it's crazy. But what Maya say? My name should be senseless. Maya, you better keep your name out my mouth. My woman she's a little upset last week at your words. She said she don't want to have to get dressed up and come in here and show you what a real woman is. She tell you.
Now we have a comment by Eric Powell. Most of these females are delusional as F. Are they delusional, or have people or brothers have painted this false reality of how things really is in the United States? Because again, they're ignorant. They don't know how things really operate in the United States. So a lot of guys go to these countries with all the jewelry on, with the Jordans on, the neck, the hats and the gear, everything else, make it seem like, hey, they're big ballers. So these women, of course, they don't have a lot of means, so they look at you as you being rich, and you painting this style, making it rain in the club, buying this bottle, buying that bottle, buying family a whole damn rack of lobsters and stuff, not knowing that you probably used your whole entire income tax for that trip.
Correct. Yeah.
So again, who's really delusional? Is it the person that you lying to by giving them a false image of your lifestyle, or the person who's actually doing it?
Now, how many times have you been in DR and they say, where you from? They only know New York, Miami.
Yep.
That's it. I mean, they don't, as big as the many states are, they can only picture New York or Miami. So if you take them somewhere, you know, like you said, Arkansas or something like it, they can't comprehend that because they've only seen New York and Miami. It's like this is what United States is.
If you even mention Texas, or even certain parts of California, California they probably know because California's a big state. Because California has the Dodgers, so they know all the popular baseball team cities.
Oh, they know Toronto more than they know Texas because it was like an all Dominican team, but playing in Canada, so they know Toronto. Okay. That's it. That's the only reason Toronto, and that ain't even the United States.
So guys, keep in mind, like going back to reason number one, cultural adjustment and cultural difference. A lot of times, in most cases, people don't have a better idea as far as how different our culture and the way we live are completely different. So that tend to cause a lot of issues within the relationship once she arrives here.
Well, I'd like to give a shout out to Lash with Lex. I appreciate you joining. We had to see. I think we had to see a show. Would y'all bring y'all foreign men back? we gotta know if they're gonna bring some foreign men back to us.
Okay, let's move on to reason number two. Can you actually do it? Because I'm actually.
Give me 1 second, sir. All right, if I can find it. Give me a second. Reason number two: legal complexities. So you just thought you was gonna meet this girl and you just gonna bring her back. It don't work like that, brother. Does not work like that. You're just not going to meet this girl and all of a sudden she getting a visa and coming back. One, it's going to cost you money. It's going to cost you a lot of money. One, she has to go to, especially if she don't live in Santo Domingo, because that's the only place you can go get an appointment. If she don't live in Santo Domingo, you paying for the appointment. You paying for her to get there probably. And, it's probably overnight because the appointment start people outside waiting at 7:00 in the morning. So she's not getting there that day. She's getting there the day before. You paying transportation, hotel, all of that stuff just to go set that up. And let's say you're fortunate enough to get her, that she gets a visa. You have to pay for that. Now you got to bring her over here. If you get married, the government wants their money. Government gonna get their cut no matter what. So if you want to go through the immigration process, you got to do a change of visa. Every time you do a status change, so you went from the K1 and now she got to get a green card, $1,000. That's only gonna last 2 years. So you're gonna ante up another $1,000 in another 2 years. All that legal, and don't pay a lawyer. I know people that filled out that immigration. That was $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 they pay just to do that. You bringing her here. Now, what you think if somebody's here and they haven't seen their family? What you think they want to do?
Go back home.
Go back home. Exactly. So you paying flights to go back home. She's here. She got to talk to somebody. And those Dominican Latinos, they got to call every friend, family in the phone book.
I mean,
so that's just how it is.
But keep in mind, going to the Dominican Republic is cheaper compared to other countries, guys. Imagine you met your wife somewhere in Asia, Africa, Eastern Europe, Brazil. Like, just imagine the places that require time and effort and money to go to these countries, and you're trying to bring her here. Imagine the amount of money you have to spend to fly her to go back home, to go see her on a frequent basis. So again, most cases, sustaining a long-term relationship, especially overseas, is difficult. And this whole thing that they just want a green card, is easy to get a green card. No, it's not. It's not easy to get a green card. There's a lot of process that people don't know about, and it's very costly. As Fearless just mentioned, you're going to spend about $7,000 to $10,000. That's during the application process. That's from the application process for you to apply and for her to come here into this country. Two, it takes 2 to 3 years. It doesn't happen that fast. And now with a lot of countries catching on to some of the scamming that's happening with these green cards, a lot of countries are pushing back. So the US are actually denying more visas to most countries.
Yep.
And now with the whole immigration process thing that's happening across the country, and Trump coming back into the office, you know for a fact he's going to put more restrictions on getting visas.
Bro, they have some stories where, you know, some people, so you meet a girl, you're like, oh, I didn't have to bring her back, but she's illegal. You get with her and you marry her. Now y'all have a kid. Your kid is a United States citizen.
He can stay. She can stay.
They were coming back on women who were like, you know, their kid is 17 years old, and they're like, yeah, but you've been here illegally. They can stay, and your husband can stay.
You gotta go.
Your ass gotta go back. And so just imagine you've been here 20 years, your family's here, your kid here, and they gone. That's it.
And also too, guys, they just recently passed. Actually, they just recently increased all the expenses to get American citizenship, to get a green card, to get a resident card. It actually went up by $3,000. So before to apply for a American citizenship, it was about $300. Now it's about $2,000. They made the process a lot more difficult. And even if you decide to bring your significant other to the States, it's going to cost you a lot of money. It's going to cost you time.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say if you don't make this a certain amount of income, you literally committed to the government that, hey, I'm going to financially take care of this woman. So if she decides to leave you, do you know you're still obligated to take care of that person? So if she decided to apply for food stamps, you know, Medicaid, they coming for you.
And what you don't understand is y'all think y'all balling. In order to bring a foreign girl back, you have to show your finances.
Mm-hmm.
Not only is for you have to show that you are financially, you can be financially responsible for her. That means your income has to be over a certain level in order for, and that's just if it's her. If she has a child, then it increases. So your income has to be at a certain level just to bring her back, because you have to show that you can financially support her while she's here, or him.
You have to show 5 years of income. Mm-hmm. And they want to know everything about your business: how much you pay for your mortgage, how much you pay for your rent, what your expenses are. Again, that's all. Like when people throw out, hey, you know, she just want a green card or whatever, or he wants a green card. It's not that easy to get, especially now with all the immigration that's happening around the country, and new laws are being implemented, and costs are going up. It's not that easy. But also too, if you're willing to do it, just understand it's going to cost you money, time, and some headache, because you may have to fly back and forth between their country and your country.
And I know Buck, he said, a foreign women that's been here 2 years and they behaving like American. Look, these guys just not vetting their girl, man. I mean, if I pick up a chick from the streets, what other behavior would I want? She's not standing on principles. She doesn't have her own principles. She's not standing on anything. You know, that's just like,
what's wrong being American? That's the thing. Is like when I hear guys that say this shit sounds stupid. Like, what's wrong being American? You being American is it basically made you who you are.
Correct.
So like when people say, oh, you don't want her to be American, well, you don't want her to be a go-getter. You don't want her to be driven. That's what that's what America is. America is about capitalism. Setting goals and going for what you want in life and just becoming a go-getter. What's wrong with that?
A girl in America, in this sense, here's a story that somebody told me. And a girl, her rent is due. Say her rent is $400. It's due on the first of the month. She got $360. So she's like, well, I ain't got the rent. I might as well just go party, because they live for the day. So instead, our mentality is I just got to get that other 40. They're like, I'm just going to spend it. So they have a mentality in other countries like, I'm just living for the day. I'm living for this. I'm not thinking about how I save for the next day. So that's an American thought process. How can I save for my future? How can I look out for my next generation? All of those things are, we love it. We love the fact that we can go somewhere with our passport because it has a lot of weight. So that's behaving, to be a competitor, to say, I'm going to strive to be the best. Those are great American traits. So I'm not sure what traits they do.
I mean, again, I think sometimes we always speak negative about America, not knowing that America has put us in a great position for us to do the things that we want to do. Trust me, if you live in any other country, you would not be making the money that you're making. You would not have a lot of the privileges that you have as an American. So when people who are quick to throw America America underneath the bus, keep in mind America helped made you who you are. Exactly. Because due to all the open opportunities you have. So yes, if I bring a woman over, I want her to pick up some positive American traits because I want her to be successful. I want her to be able to be financially able. If anything were to happen to me, she's able to take care of herself and our kids. This whole notion that, hey, you want her to just be a stay at home wife, that's not realistic, especially now in today's economy. Fearless?
And especially when they say, I think it comes down to control. Because I know some guys who brought over some girls, and it's like they don't really want them to go anywhere. They don't want them to have a car. And it becomes a control thing. How can I control this woman where she can't go anywhere or she can't, seek out? And you're going to lose her that way.
That seems more like insecurity to me because I've been part of this tribal community for over 12 years, and I've seen some fuck shit. Like really hearing men will lock their women inside the house while they're gone at work, literally lock them in the house while they're at work. They couldn't have any friends. They couldn't go out, like, because they were so insecure that, hey, they realized that, yes, she's attractive. So they're afraid that the next man that she sees may be in a way better position than him. Therefore, he's going to try to control as much as possible that she's not able to see other men. Correct. And that's pathetic. To me, I think that's pathetic. Your self-esteem is that low where you need to actually hinder someone else's life just to make you feel better. If that's the case, you could have just kept her in her country so she could at least move around and have her own life. But you want to bring her here to the U.S. so you can control every aspect of her life. You control the phone, everything. And I've seen that happen plenty of times.
Mm-hmm. And understand the law. Our laws are entirely different than their laws. So you bring, what may be cool that they can do over there. Example, if I want to take my drink or beer and I just want to walk down the street in DR, it's not even, if I want to drive with my beer, not even an issue. Open while I'm drinking. They come here and do it, and they're like, why am I going to jail for DUI? Why, why am I in jail for this? Why do I got to drive correctly when I can do whatever? So those little entrants, those little things, they don't understand. You bring somebody over, they can be in a financial world, especially that you get a 304. She thought, well, I give it away. I give it away over there. Ain't no problem with the police. How am I getting arrested for giving it away here? Y'all don't take a lot of those the legal complexities of bringing someone over and how the laws are completely different here. And it can mess you up. All of a sudden, you're responsible for somebody and you in a world of trouble. Just because they don't know how the law is. Ain't no bribing. I guess you can bribe sometime. But it's not like over there where you can just bribe the police and you can get off. Don't happen the same way in the States. So a lot of times they're just not accustomed to, what do you mean this is how the law is? This is how this is. Those things are just foreign to them.
Yep. So guys, keep this in mind. This whole thing that it's easy to bring them here is going to cost you time, money, and headache. Again, depending on the country, you may have to do an interview process in their country. You may have to go to this office, that office, going to cost you money for that, for this. It's just a lot of legal issues that you need to take into consideration. So again, that's reason number 2. Let's move on to reason number 3.
I think we kind of covered, but financial considerations.
Yeah.
Bruh, they got this image in their mind that everybody walking around with a Michael Kors coach, driving a Lamborghini, and she gonna want that. You might go broke bringing your girl back. Over in her country, you living like a king. Yep. Here, you're gonna be from riches to rags because that's what they're accustomed to. I mean, I'm gonna tell you something. If you go to the DR and you want to get your nails done, your hair done, get you a pedicure. They massage and drink there. You might come out of that salon $15. 20 if you went somewhere special. And you bring that same girl over here, she of course wants a manicure. She needs a pedicure. She got that long, silky Dominican hair that you always like. Well, they got to get a Dominican blowout for that. That Dominican blowout's $100. That pedicure is $35. That or $60. Manicure is $30. You done spent $200, and they getting this done, on a weekly basis.
Yep.
You afford that? Yeah, it ain't the same in DR. She got to get some clothes. The way you seen her, she was dressed up nice, looking good. But now she want those designer stuff to look good. It's financial stuff you got to get out your way.
And the thing is, guys, you can't. Eventually, she gonna learn that half the stuff that you bring into her are fake. All those knockoff scam that you do, you're gonna know, hey, this is not the actual real thing. She's gonna learn real fast, like, hey, this is not real Victoria's Secret. So always keep that in mind. And also, too, guys, this is part of the legal process as well. You committed to the government that you are financially able to take care of this woman.
Mm-hmm.
So she cannot apply for food stamps. She can't apply for Medicaid. You need to actually put her on your health insurance plan, and you need to provide for her until she's able to find a job. If you decided, if you want her to work or not. I know a lot of you guys want a stay-home wife and shit. So it's like, hey, you better have the money and the means to take care of her as well as your growing family. So always keep that in mind. Like, the financial aspect is going to be very costly because, again, you guys are living off of your income. It's not like she's doing 50-50. You're basically taking full control and responsibility of all the finance. And the thing is, if you hooked up with a woman overseas that never worked in her life, doesn't understand the value of the dollar, and doesn't have no desire to work, I feel sorry for you because you're gonna go through hell.
Those are things that they're not responsible. It's crazy. I'm not really understanding Buck travel, man. This brother just don't get it. Like he says, I'm not bringing a foreign woman over here. So you rather deal with an American woman. What would be the difference with you dealing with an American woman and dealing with a foreign woman that you brought over? Just say she crossed over illegally. You bring her over. What would be the entire difference of dealing with her here? Because if you go there, where your income coming from? It's cool to be a big baller when you traveling there. You're gonna live there. You're gonna have a serious relationship. If it's just pay for play, just pay here. That's what I don't understand. Brothers will travel 2,000 miles for a pay for play to spend money on hotel, flight, food. If you're spending all that, just pay for play here. You save a lot of money. Put up with the headache here.
It's interesting. The same guys that say that they'll never date American women, they go to these countries and deal with the lowest bottom totem pole. Yeah, I'm like, okay, so you sit here and bash American women, but yet you go overseas and mess with pros.
Exactly.
You go overseas and mess with the uneducated ones, the ones that are unemployed, but yet you turn around and want to talk shit about American women. That's why I never understood that mess. So, you know what? Listen, just say that, hey, listen, you have no desire to getting married. You have no desire to be in a relationship. You just want to go out there and just bang away. Just say that. Keep it real. Just at least be honest with yourself. But the ones who so-called looking for love and that want to go ahead and bash American women during the process, like, hey, listen, unless you're meeting doctors, lawyers, engineers, teachers in these countries, and the person you're dating doesn't have a job, doesn't go to school, what's the difference? Besides her cooking you a meal and folding your clothes.
Exactly. And that's going to cost you. And another thing you want to do, if you went to all the way to, even if you go to DR, but I can't say DR because there are brothers that go to DR that never left Sasua. But just say you go to DR, you want to explore the country. You bring a girl here, she done seen Vegas online. She done seen New York. She want to travel in the United States. So if you ain't never seen the United States before, when you bring a foreign woman, you're going to be paying to see the United States because it's all new to them. I want to see Miami. I want to see Washington. All this stuff that I've seen. I've grown up all my life watching TV and I've seen New York skyscrapers. I've seen beaches in Miami. Hollywood stars in California. You know, even animals. Like, man, I've never seen a bull. They don't know what that is. Like,
Yeah.
raccoon or a squirrel. That's like a weird thing. Like, I want to explore. So you coming out of your pocket for that. All of those things that you took for granted that you've done over your entire life, your amusement parks, your things. You just like if you went somewhere, you wanna find out, you want to go. So you have to have your money up. You know, there's a lot of brothers, you can be a great kingpin and superstar when you're there because you're spending, $1,000 a week. But some of y'all don't make $1,000 a week. That's $50,000 a year. So you can't keep that up during the entire year. And you've already set a precedence for this woman to say, I can spend that. I can get you this. We can go out where you want to eat. Because you go out to dinner there, it might cost you $20. You go out to here, that's $80. So that lifestyle that you just fixed her to, she thinking when she gets, and this is why they leave. I'm gonna tell you. You set her up to this lifestyle that she thinks she's coming to. Because you spending it when you're down there. Y'all going on your little excursions. Y'all done went to the all-inclusive beach. This is what she's expecting when she comes. So she comes and be like, this just a broke nigga anyway. She gonna leave and go to New York to be with Pablo. Because at least with Pablo, she know what it is. Here, you done sold a fantasy. And that's what y'all brothers doing. Y'all selling fantasy.
My thing is this, and again, I think a lot of guys need to be more transparent and honest with themselves. If you are looking for love, make sure you put time and effort in vetting the right person. Don't get caught up by the pretty face and nice ass. Like, don't get caught up by that. There's more to that and sustaining a relationship. Now, a lot of us are not in a position to live overseas. Let's just be honest. This whole fairy tale that everybody can live overseas, that's not happening. Some people are in the right position to work overseas. Shout out to Jay Clyde. He's one of them. He's one of the guys living in a penthouse in Medellin, working remotely. But again, not everyone is like Jay Clyde. So you got to be honest. So you got to be honest with yourself. Are you in a position to live overseas? If not, and you have someone that you really want to be with, and you want to grow a family with, how realistic is it for you to travel back and forth? Because having a sustainable relationship, traveling once or twice a year to go see this person is not building a relationship. It's just not. So you got to make a decision. Hey, listen, all right, I have a child overseas. I'm with this woman. I only see her twice a year. I only see my child twice a year. Hey, I want to bring this person to this country, but keep in mind that is this person ready to live in the U.S.? Like you really need to sit down and have that conversation with them. Like, listen, the U.S. is not a fairy tale. This is some real shit. Like, you're about to come and be around a bunch of wolves. And it's either you got to be aggressive, you got to think like an American, you got to act like American. You can't think like a Colombian. You can't think like a Dominican. Like, no, you got to act like an American if you want to get ahead. And that's how it is.
And what we talking about, think about this. We are men who take care of women because that's what we do. And we're saying if we, as a man, go bring a woman back from overseas. But let's reverse it. There are women who try to do that. And now, this is what's the crazy part. You wouldn't buy a brother nothing when he's here. But when that foreign man come over, he is completely dependent upon you. He can't work. He can't do any of that. And you got to spend all your money. You got to take care of him. You got to make sure that, all the bills are paid by you.
Yep.
Everything is taken care of by you. You are now the man in the relationship. He's starting in a whole nother country. Here's the thing, even if you are a professional, because I've met doctors in Cuba, I've met doctors in DR, and especially in Venezuela. When Venezuela went down, there were very educated people that came out of Venezuela, and they come to the United States. And even where I live at, I know a girl, and she's like, oh, y'all was a doctor over there. And I'm like, well, why aren't you a doctor here? Because you can't just do that. You think I've been in surgeries, I've done all that. Our state boards and what you have to go through is entirely different. One, you got to do a whole nother language, everything. So it doesn't matter what their profession was over there. It may not be their profession when they get to the United States. You got to support them. A lot of women ain't ready to do that. A lot of women won't do that. And there are some that do, even when they don't do it to the brothers who live here.
Yeah. Hey, I want to take a moment. Can you guys take the minute to like the videos, guys? Make sure you like the video. We have about 40 people watching. Make sure you like the video. We're not asking for anything. If you want to send a super chat or whatever, that'll be great. But we really want the likes. So take the time. Go ahead and like the video right now so we can keep this conversation going. Fearless, we have some great comments. There's a comment from Jay Clyde. My foreign chick don't even want to live in the U.S., but I'm not against having her in the U.S. Can you put that up? I want to talk about that real quick.
Let me get that up. I'm sorry. Where did Jay Clyde put that up?
Yeah,
there you go. Yeah, that is true. And here's the reason why. If you meet a girl and she's professional,
put it up.
Yeah, I put it up.
Okay.
Yeah. And she's professional. She's making money there. I know girls who work for the government and they have like a maid, somebody who cooks for them, cleans for them. And you tell them, does all of those things. And you're like, well, you get to the United States, we don't have a maid. They're like, nah, what do you mean? You don't have a maid. They're not accustomed to that. They have such a great lifestyle because their income, what we would consider low. So I think the average salary in DR is like $8,000 a year. So you imagine somebody who makes $24,000 a year. That's 3 times the average salary. That's like here, the average salary might be $50,000, and you got a woman who makes $150,000. She's not living like you living. She's living a completely different. She's going
Let's break it down a little bit further. The average monthly income in DR, the average, like non-educated, just the working class, is about $400 a month.
Mm-hmm. That's on the high end.
No. I mean, that's more working class.
Mm-hmm.
The high end, probably 800 to 900 to 1,000. Now, granted, you do have your professional, like your engineers, your doctors. They make some money, but it's not equivalent to the U.S. I think Colombia, the average monthly income is about $300 a month in Colombia. Brazil's is less than $500 a month. Thailand is probably less than all the above. So always keep that in mind. And the thing too, let's be honest here. A lot of guys who are traveling to these countries, they're not meeting the elite. They're not meeting the middle class.
Mm-hmm.
They're meeting more of the working class. And the working class don't have the means to actually have a maid. So they're really relying on your income to sustain their lifestyle or help them with their lifestyle. So most cases, when you do decide to meet a woman, you're probably gonna meet someone more in the lower tier unless you literally position yourself to meet more of the middle and upper class people. But even then, you compete against their men. And don't get it twisted. These countries, they have Maseratis, Range Rovers, Lamborghinis, Porsche. I've seen them. So thinking that, every country is the third world country. No, they're not. These countries have wealthy people in these countries too. So if you want to compete with the middle and upper class tier of men, you better come correct.
Correct.
Because again, what's her reason to mess with you where you don't speak the language? You don't know her culture. You don't know the norms. You don't know how they operate versus she can meet a guy from her community, from her economic tier that can provide her the same thing that you could provide her without her leaving the country. So going back to Jay Clyde comment, Jay Clyde had positioned himself in a way where he met more of the upper tier folks.
And let me say something to Jay Clyde about that. Usually, what happens is, and what I found, the women who are in the upper tier, like I've met some doctors, I've met the lawyers, I've met people who were like in the news and things like that. They already had like tourist visas because I know a girl that came to the United States to cover like the baseball game. It was like, because Dominicans would go play. She came here to cover the baseball game. She got tourist visas. I know some of the people who played in sports. They have tourist visas. What's that mean? They can come here 6 months, stays 6 months out of the year. So, Buck, when you're saying a woman comes here and changes, what type of women are you talking about? Because if you met a high class woman who already has a travel visa, who's already been to like Spain, who's already been to other foreign countries, who's traveled to the United States, what would be her reason to come here? She could come here anytime and meet anybody. So I think what you're talking about is the lower class people who've never been here. Because if you get a high echelon woman, most likely either she can get a tourist visa, she just never applied, or she already has a tourist visa. And what you're saying, and see, the difference is you can't impress them.
Nope.
They've been here. So now what you gonna do? You got to do something. You got to do something different.
And that's why. And that's why I said going back. Most of the guys, they meet more of the lower tier women, because if you meet the middle class, upper class women, they're traveling. When you go to these countries' airport, everyone's traveling. If they're traveling, that means they have the means to travel. So you can't assume that, hey, because you're an American, you got an American passport, you're top tier. That doesn't mean the case, because again, if you were to compete with their local men who are in the same position as you, that he could travel to Europe, he could travel to the States whenever he wants, who she's gonna pick?
Exactly.
So let's humble ourselves here, and yeah, if you decide to mess with a woman that doesn't have a strong education background, never worked, or have no desire to work, she just want to stay on social media, dude, and you try to bring her to the States, man, you're gonna go through hell. Because the thing is, you're gonna realize how expensive it is to sustain another person on one income, especially if you're not making a certain amount of money. And let's keep it honest here, guys. We threw out some stats a week ago. The average American income, male, black male, is only $44,000 a year. The average male income across all races in the United States is 47. So black men make less than what the average American makes a year.
And I'm gonna agree with you, Clyde. My girl ain't want to come here. She ain't want to come. It was like, I'm good. I got everything I need here. I got my car. I got my place. I got my job. She worked for the Ministry of Health, so that's a government job.
Yep.
Every weekend, she was like, I'm going up to the beach, so I can go up to the beach and chill in Cabaret and Kite Beach and have me a pina colada on the beach. I can party with my friends. I can go out. I got it made. So you're telling me I got to go there and basically decrease my lifestyle?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
guys,
I thought for sure when I sent her the ticket to come, I'm like, oh, I don't know if she's gonna show up or not. She didn't really want to. I mean, why? It's like I have to give. I'm actually making a sacrifice to come there, and that's the way Buck looked at it. The girls he's bringing back are talking about they making a come up. The people we talking about are actually making a sacrifice. Entirely different type of mentality on the people you doing that with.
I know people right now in Haiti, with all the stuff that's going on in Haiti, the upper class, the elite, the middle class, they have no desire to come to the U.S. Even with all the craziness that's happening right now, they're like, dude, my life is good up here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, regardless of what the poor folks are going through, that's what they say. The poor people, my life is grand. Why am I gonna come to the States and pay taxes? Give 40 to 50% of my money to taxes.
Mm-hmm.
I already have a house. I already have a life here. So always keep that in mind. Like, when you start messing more with the upper tier of folks, they have really no desire to live in the States. Now, if she genuinely loves you and she wants to be with you, wants to build with you, that's different. But again, if you going out there meeting the girl in Paqueras, Clock Tower, Copacabana, the sewer, man, dude, that's her come up.
My thing is, I'm gonna read from Justin Home. My thing is, if you like a foreign of a certain type, you won't get them in the States. Or once you get them in the States, the U.S. is diverse. So why go through all that to bring a foreign person back? Well, I can answer that, because even though you might, it goes back to tradition. It goes back to a Western type culture. So how was that girl? She can be foreign, because I know girls who are foreign, like the moms, traditional, the mom at home with the dad, they cooking. And I think last week we talked to Lex, Mrs. Loomis. She talked about this. Lash with Lex. She talked about her mom, traditional, dad, traditional. It's not those that mess up. It's that first generation, that second generation that comes. So they're beautiful. They're diverse. They may even speak the language a little bit, but now they have become westernized and they have forgotten their traditional roots. So the reason a lot of guys go to these foreign countries is because it's ingrained in them. You know, here, the influence is friends, you know, the next generation. So friends and that extended family. There, it's supervised. You know, your mom says this, it's completely on you. So they have that tradition. So like if you bring a foreign woman back, your girl, your wife, or your husband, he's going to be traditional. You know, he speak the language, do all of those.
Yeah.
Your kid that y'all have, they're gonna be an American. They're gonna be the American. They're gonna be the American person, want to do the American things. I want, you know, this, all the things that you think of that's a Western type person, that's what they will be. So the guys, no matter how diverse it is, they go there because they are looking for that tradition. They're looking for that submissiveness. You can find beauty. The United States has some of the most beautiful women in the country. I know we got some biggins and we got some hood people, but overall we have some of the most diverse, mixed people that we have. Beautiful.
All right.
That outwardly beauty, it don't get it all the time, bro. That outwardly beauty is what fails.
I'm gonna kick the tire a little bit. I said, nah, I've been drinking now, so I can let this shit out now.
I might as well pour mine because they like you about to get in.
Hey, all right. Yo, so all right, here's the thing, right? You got dudes always want to compare American women and foreign women, right? And I'm like, okay, they always say foreign women look better. You know, yes, there's a lot of attractive foreign women, but also there are attractive women here in the States. There is. I've traveled all over across the country, this country, and I met a lot of beautiful women, good women, you know, just good people. Mm-hmm. The guys that always talk shit about American women, look at the type of women that they're with overseas. Yeah. Majority of them are with mud ducks.
Yeah.
Let's just keep it a buck here. Let's just be honest. I run a Facebook group. I'm part of different WhatsApp groups. And the guys they try to portray as trophies, I'm like, whoa, you took time off, paid for a plane ticket, Airbnb to go and mess with that. Yeah, you turn around and talk mad shit about American women. And I'm like, man, you're in no position to say anything. So guys, keep that in mind. It's like, listen, if you're going to sit here and downplay or talk bad about one particular group, you better come correct while overseas. Because like right now, what I'm seeing in these WhatsApp groups and these Facebook groups,
304.
Girl all chatted up, girl like overweight and all that. I was like, wait, this is the same stuff you guys talk about, but you go overseas and deal with that. So what's the difference? You might as well stay here in the States. So to me, at the end of the day, it boils down to the type person. It all boils down to the type of woman that you're attracted to. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, again, I had never had any issues attracting beautiful women here in the States. I never had any issue doing that in the States. Going overseas just opened things up for me. But I'm not going to sit in position one over the other. I'm just not going to do that. However, I noticed that guys who do that and they show their receipts, I'm not impressed.
If you can't afford that chick, if you cannot afford, when you bring that chick from overseas and you can't afford it here, you're talking about the financial considerations. How you gonna even afford a chick here? How can you afford that?
Beauty costs. Beauty costs. If you want that 10, you better make that money to sustain that 10.
Because what made her look good was that dress, them high heels, that makeup, her hair, her nails, all that made her look like that 10. Mm-hmm. You want to bring a 10 back, and now and that attention she gonna get, she's not gonna come back here and deal with that BS. I wouldn't. If I'm a fine woman, and I'm like, why am I going to deal with this?
And the fact too, if she's a fine woman in her country, she can be a fine woman wherever she goes.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, you have to understand there are not a lot of attractive women, naturally attractive women out there. So it's like just without no makeup, just naturally beauty. There's not a lot out there like that. So when you do have one and she has good intentions to be with you and everything else, be true to her. But when you guys sit here and just talk mad shit about going overseas and forgetting about American women and all that, but then again, I see your receipts. You're dealing with mud ducks. I'm like, okay, that's not a flex, man. I think you should kind of shut up and be quiet because your receipts don't look right, man. Because you're taking time off, buying plane ticket, Airbnb, doing all this extra stuff for this mud duck.
Yeah, they balling out with 304s. I mean, that's how you balling. You balling with the lowest common denominator. You balling with the same girls that the local dudes won't touch. That's the sad thing. So, I don't understand. You got to get, if you're going to have, you got to get your dollars up so that, or what you say, you play what you weigh. You got to get your dollars up, get your confidence up, get your game up. Yeah. Because that's why they leave you. Your chick come over here and you done promised them the world. You can't pay for nothing. You can't pay for no wedding. You can't pay for no ring. You can't pay to take her out. Y'all Netflix and chilling every day because that's all you do. And she gonna leave you because it's like, why deal with this dude who's broke? And I still got all of the cultural challenges when I can just deal with a person that I'm in my culture that's broke. And then I don't have those other obstacles. Yeah. I don't have any other obstacles I got to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah. So keep that in mind. There's a statement by Jasmaya. What's a mud duck? You want to explain what is a mud duck, or you want me to take that?
I was gonna say Maya, look in the dictionary, but go ahead, brother. I'm sorry. I won't do it like I did last week. I'm cool.
Hey, keep the peace, man. Keep the peace, man. Y'all two be wilding, man. A mud duck is pretty much someone that is just horrible looking. Just like you kind of created this pedestal of how you view foreign women, but yeah, when you actually see the person, it's just like, this is a 3.
And not even that. They can be some attractive mud ducks. It's just like this. If you in the hood and you see a girl, she can be attractive. But she got the pink wig on, she got the nails this long, and she talking straight hood. You're like, yeah, the looks is good, but you're a mud duck. What we used to call him is also a butterface.
Butterface, yeah.
Her body nice, but her face was a difference, though.
And I see that a lot, man. That's why it kills me when guys talk that mess. I'm like, okay, you talking mad shit about American women, but yeah, you go overseas and just deal with the lowest tier. And lowest tier. And I'm like, bro, shut the F up, man.
Lash, we are going to let some people on tonight because we want to hear, we want to see if you as a female, y'all go overseas. What do y'all do when y'all go over there? Y'all not falling in love and bringing something back? We want to hear your opinion. We just want to get through these 5. And then we want everybody else's opinion on what you think it should be. Yeah. Would you bring your girl back? Because we're saying, I wouldn't do it. It'll take some extreme circumstances and it takes a different type of man that can bring that woman back. And because the reason I'm saying it takes a different type of man, because that man has vetted that woman correctly. Yep. Average Joe, man, y'all gonna fall into all these problems. Y'all gonna fall into, if you a nerd, you went over there and you think, man, this fine chick wants you, and you ain't never had a fine chick, you gonna fall into this, might be an issue with that. You ain't got no band.
I can give you guys one good example. I know a brother personally. He married his Brazilian woman that he met like 12 years ago. Brought her to the States. They married. They had 4 kids. She's an RN. Dude, they're making about combined income about $500,000 a year. He took a Brazilian woman put her into school, had 4 kids, marriage, everything. Now look, they're living good. Her English is impeccable. Like, like she kind of lost her Brazilian accent a little bit, but it's just like it shows that if you're willing to put the time and effort and investment onto that person, you can make things happen. If you're not realistic with yourself as far as like, are you willing to take on this responsibility? Are you willing to take on this relationship? Because again, this is a commitment. And again, you made a agreement with the government that you'll take care of this person. So even after divorce, you still got to pay for her.
Mm-hmm.
So always keep that in mind. Let's move on to reason number 4.
Yeah, let me get number 4. Number 4, social and familiar challenges. So what you don't understand is they're going to get homesick. They're going to feel cultural isolation. They got to navigate through social circles. I'll tell you an example. My girl came here, and the one thing Dominicans like are Dominican salami, fried peas, plantains, stuff like that. Well, we were in the area where you can find it at. And it's like, I'm yearning for that. Where are other people that speak Spanish? Where's like my culture? It's like I'm a fish out of water. I feel, and especially, with men, we are used to conquering the world and traveling. We're used to going, hey, we want to go overseas. We want to go, we'll take Christopher Columbus, take a ship to go somewhere. We are accustomed to living in that isolation. Women are not. Women are social creatures. And if you're taking her away from that social society, that social circle, that's why women can get on the phone and gossip for 4 or 5 hours. And you take all that away, and then you wonder why she's lonely, why she doesn't want to be with you, why she wants to move on. That isolation sets in. And when we talk about even family challenges, if you have a kid, in DR, I mean, you can have your child and everybody else is just like your family. Your uncle don't watch there. You got cousins somewhere. They took care of you. Your kid just bouncing around. Even though it's your child, it's just your family's always there. Hey, we going somewhere. You have a child here in the States. And now it's just you and her. Ain't no babysitter. That's it. Ain't nobody to take care of it. No family to grow up with. That starts to wear on a person. It's like, I don't have those family connections. I don't have those things. And I'm ready to roll. So she gets all the way here. And it's like,